Alright, so we're looking at Leaper's Integrix 3-18 by 44 with the M1 MRAD reticle. It is windy here. I might have to do voiceover. But I figured I'll give it a shot. Anyway, we're looking at several sets of plates. The closest ones, kind of on the left, just below the midline, are about 330 yards. Just behind it is about, I think, 570. Behind that, and on the right is 630, and the furthest out, a little bit higher, slightly on the left, is about 740, 750. I don't remember exactly. It's something like that. The scope is currently sitting on 7 power, where you would expect good depth of field, and it is indeed pretty good. Let's go back. Let's go on max. This is 18 power. So the way the reticle is done, it's a 3 reticle. The lines are allegedly 0.03 milliradian thick, although they look thicker to me. And the center dot is 0.05 milliradian, also small dots in the tree are also 0.05 milliradian. There is a choke style rangefinder up top above center, kind of not a full funnel, but half a funnel sort of thing. And the center cross, that's plus minus 1 milliradian vertically and horizontally, to my eye looks to be slightly thicker, and it might be because that's the only part of the reticle that's actually illuminated. Illumination is turned on via a push button. There you go. So that's the illuminated part. It can be red or green, and that part of the reticle to my eye looks to be slightly thick. It's super bright here, so it's hard to get all the flare out. There we go. The tree goes down. So the tree goes down by 12 milliradian. So on this magnification, you basically see the whole tree. We are just right about 14 power. That's when you need to be able to see the whole tree. Every milliradian, there is a solid line going left and right. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's it's workable. And in between are the half mil dots. The dots in the tree are also 0.05 milliradian, just like the primary aiming dot is. Beyond that, all the hash marks are 0.2 milliradian spaced, except on the horizontal steady and on the between between 3 and 5 are 0.1 milliradian one hash marks, and above center you also see them. There is a not try to squeeze in the 0.1 milliradian hash marks in the middle of the tree. It can be relatively distributed. As you go on low power, there are thick floating bars that are trying to make them shorter that make the reticle relatively visible, but like virtual reticles of this type, if you're running on low power, illumination is the illumination on low power appears like a small cross floating in the center, and in anything but the brightest light you can actually see it very, very well. And the illumination can be green or red. You can switch between the two by a long press. The thick bars reach the edges of the field of view. Just above 6x, maybe right about 6. Yes, about 6. Which to me is reasonable. I don't like the edges. It's sort of a matter of personal preference, but I don't like to have too much stuff on the edges. 2 folds on the right of focus once. To me, the reticle is generally pretty usable. I don't like all this business with the choke style rangefinder up top. To me, it just gets in the way a little bit. I prefer to keep that open, I like to have the vertical go up by a few milliradians. It's fine. So what they have here is good, but the choke style, but the range finding part doesn't do anything for me. But people like it, so each his own. Beyond that, the reticle is relatively easy to use because of the thick horizontal lines in the tree. To me, it is a little bit busier than I'd like, and the tree is a little bit more visible than I'd like. I would really prefer to hide the tree a little bit so that when you're not using it, when you're not looking for it, it's not in the way. But there are companies who do reticles this style that clearly do well, so to each his own. Overall, as far as the first attempt goes, it's a pretty decent reticle. I like how they illuminate, but I think.
And then the wind just freaking killed it. In the grand scheme of things, I would have preferred a reticle with a slightly more pronounced center and slightly more subdued tree. That's one of the reasons I don't like thick bars in a tree quite as much. But honestly, for a first attempt, it's a very usable reticle. I didn't have too many difficulties using it. I like that they only illuminated a relatively small portion. Being able to switch between red and green is surprisingly useful as well. Overall, I think it's a reasonably well thought out design, and most of my differences with it really come down to personal preference above all else.